not to allow blacks into the Army. Recruitment in Amherst commenced at the Highland AME Church on Poplar Street on August 9th. And by August 14th, at least 14 soldiers were reported to have been accepted. In fact, it was reported by the local newspaper that, and I quote, August 31st is looked upon as one of the greatest days in the history of the colored race. In fact, it is, for upon this day, they were assured of their freedom. And I continue to quote from that article, Emancipation Day will be fittingly observed in Amherst by an immense recruiting meeting upon the Highlands. Colonel Sutherland, commander of the No. 2 Construction Battalion, Captain Reverend G.M. Campbell, and Captain Tompkinson will be the speakers on that occasion, together with a number of local gentlemen. Mary Beth Sutherland, the granddaughter of the Lieutenant Colonel of the No. 2 Construction Battalion, who's here with us today and participated in the play. Last night she shared a letter with me, a letter that was written to her great-grandfather, a letterhead from the Amherst Hotel. I'd like to quote from that letter. The bearer of this note, this is a letter to her father. The bearer of this note, Lawrence Martin, is a man with a large prestige here in Amherst. He's been the foreman in the foundry and has charge of about 100 men. His ability and superiority above the average colored man will assert itself quite quietly. What I now ask is that he be sent back to Amherst from Pictou for a week to 10 days for recruiting purposes. I'm confident he can secure another dozen men. They already had about 14 men. I'll continue on. I've had a strenuous week, but feel mightily encouraged and compensated with the results and with the splendid recruits obtained. One man who's coming next Friday is 6 feet tall and weighs 250 pounds. I stated this back in the paper, and all the men thus far secured here are mighty good men. Major Fillmore says they are the best. Private Lawrence Martin delivered, as suggested, with a dozen more men, resulting in approximately 25 men from Amherst area, contributing to the essential efforts of the No. 2 Construction Battalion. We're here today, 108 years later, from that meeting at the Highland AME Church on Poplar Street, with Emancipation Day being fittingly observed in Amherst, by recognizing the legacy of those black men who fought for their country, who fought their country to fight for their country. On behalf of the descendants of these men, we thank you for your presence today.
The bugle called, and forth we went, to serve the crown, our backs far bent, and build whate'er that must be done, but ne'er to fire an angry gun. No heroes we, no, nay, not one. With deep lament we did our job, despite the shame our manhood robbed. We built and fixed again, to prove our worth as proud black men, and hasten sure the Kaiser's end. From Scotia port to Seaport Square, across to France, the conflict there, at Villajou and Place Ferron, for God and King to right the wrong. The No. 2, 600 strong, stripped to the waist and sweated chest, midday's reprieve, much needed rest, We dug and hauled and lifted high from trenches deep towards the sky. Non-fighting troops, and yet we die. The peace restored, the battle won. Black sweat and toil had beat the Hun. Black blood was spilled, black bodies made. For medals brave, no black was named. Yet proud were we, our pride unshamed. But time will bring forth other wars, then give to us more daring chores, that we might prove our courage strong, preserve the right, repel the wrong, and proud we'll sing the battle song.
I would like now to invite, and I'll go off script a little bit here, as Mayor Cogan will tell you I have to do from time to time. But I'll go off script. This individual has interrupted his vacation when he found out about this event today. And Veterans Affairs has been an integral part of making sure that our event here and the play that took place earlier was a realization. And I would like to invite Musa Drame, Veterans Affairs Canada Area Director, to come to the podium to share a few words.
Good afternoon, Mayor Cogan, councillors, veterans, family members, and friends. I'm so honored to be here today. I, in fact, interrupted my vacation to be here with my family, my beautiful wife and kids, and my brother-in-law coming all the way from Montreal. This event is so important to us. I'm here on behalf of Veterans Affairs Canada for this event honoring the #2 Construction Battalion. I want to thank the town of Amherst, the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 10, and the Cameroon African Nova Scotians Association for your hospitality today, and even more for the significant work you continue to do to bring to light the story of the #2 Construction Battalion and the racism these brave Canadians had to endure just to serve. Vos efforts visant à honorer et à commémorer ces Canadiens noirs en uniforme et à faire connaître la discrimination que bon nombre d'entre eux ont subie lorsqu'ils ont essayé de servir leur pays ne passe pas inaperçu. This is without question one of the most regrettable chapters in our military history. Like so many others, the members of the #2 Construction Battalion were fiercely devoted to their country, willing to risk and even lose everything in the bitter fight for peace that had erupted in 1914. They were as fit for service as anyone else. They were capable and ready for combat as anyone else. To have denied them the right to serve on the basis of their skin color alone is an injustice, but we can never fully repair. But we must keep learning from this story and commit to always doing better. The Prime Minister's historic apology in 2022 was an important and necessary first step. Then, last February, Ministers Petipa Taylor from Veterans Affairs and Minister Blair from National Defense launched a call for application through a commemorative partnership program to increase awareness and to educate Canadians about the invaluable history of #2 Construction Battalion. Les organismes qui planifient des activités commémoratives, créent du matériel pédagogique ou souhaitent construire ou améliorer des monuments de guerre dans les collectivités qui rendent hommage au 2e bataillon de construction et à ses membres étaient encouragés à présenter une demande de financement. We were so pleased with the outcome of that first call out. Here in Nova Scotia, only 5 projects, including this one, were approved for more than $124,000 in funding for support to support new and innovative ways to honor the memory and legacy of the No. 2 Construction Battalion, with interactive websites, educational events, new memorials, and learning exhibits. Toutes des façons uniques de commémorer ces gens qui ont tant marqué l'histoire militaire du Canada par leur courage, leur sacrifice et leur détermination à servir en dépit des obstacles auxquels ils ont dû faire face. On behalf of Veterans Affairs Canada, thank you all to those who continue to educate us about the patriotism, courage, and resilience of the Black Canadians who fought so hard to join the military during the First World War. Merci, we will remember them.
Thank you very much, Musa, and I would now like to welcome to the podium the Honorable Twyla Gross, MLA, Minister of African Nova Scotia Affairs, and Minister of the Public Service Commission, to share her message on behalf of Premier Tim Houston.
Elected officials, esteemed guests, friends all, good afternoon, everyone. It is my honor to join you for this special unveiling ceremony. I am humbled and full of emotion today. I want to thank the town of Amherst, the Black Cultural Center of Nova Scotia, the Department of Veteran Affairs, the Royal Canadian Legion Branch Number 10, CANZA, that's the Cumberland African Nova Scotian Association, and all friends and members of our African Nova Scotian community for making today's ceremony possible and a reality. Today, we pay our respects to the more than 600 brave Canadians of African descent who form the No. 2 Construction Battalion. Many of them are from Amherst, Nova Scotia. Just 2 days ago, we commemorated Emancipation Day. On August 1st, 190 years ago, the British Parliament decided to abolish slavery across its empire. Slavery, a dark chapter of humanity that casts its shadow into our present. A time when our ancestors stood against crimes against humanity, against violence, racism, and oppression. Their story continues in the history of the No. 2 Construction Battalion. In the summer of 1916, brave men from Amherst families, the Glendowers, the Tuckers, Jones, Cook, Bundy, Mallard, Jordan, Johnson, and many more decided to enlist for service in the First World War. As soldiers of the No. 2 Construction Battalion, they faced harsh realities of racism and colonialism. They were segregated, marginalized, and denied the honor and recognition they deserved. Yet they stood tall, serving with distinction and pride. Their sacrifices and contributions were pivotal during the war, and today we ensure their memory is enshrined in history. This memorial commemorating the soldiers is another step in righting the historical wrong. This monument will forever remain a symbol of courage, determination, and resilience of the soldiers of the No. 2 Construction Battalion who sacrificed their lives for us. To the families of those brave men, to the educators who keep their stories alive, and to all who continue to fight against discrimination and for equality, we offer our deepest gratitude. We affirm our dedication to a future where equality and respect are unquestionable rights guaranteed to all, regardless of ethnic, culture, or religious background. Let's ensure that the flame of justice, ignited by the No. 2 Construction Battalion, continues to burn brightly, guiding us through our past and leading us to our future. We will remember them. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Gross. I will now call on our counselor from our neighboring municipality, the municipality of Cumberland, Mark Joseph, to bring remarks on behalf of the municipality of Cumberland.
Good afternoon. I just want to acknowledge elected officials, military members, but most importantly, families and descendants of the No. 2 Construction Battalion. Welcome today. I want to send thanks to, first and foremost, Town of Amherst, Council and staff for this beautiful monument. Royal Canadian Legion Branch No. 10, again, outstanding. Thank you. The Cumberland African Nova Scotia Association, aka CANSA, thank you very much. The Black Cultural Society of Nova Scotia, and especially Veterans Affairs, thank you. I want to make a special note on the hard work of a certain councillor of Amherst, Councillor Hal Davison, a descendant of a family member. Thank you very much. It was kind of rushed this morning, but again, I want to thank Deputy Mayor Fothrop on the production, who written and directed for our country. Thank you. So on behalf of the Mayor and Council from the municipality of Cumberland, again, for the 600 plus soldiers, we will remember them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Joseph. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our Mayor, Amherst Mayor, David Colgan.
Thank you very much, Hal. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you who are local, and welcome visitors from abroad. This is a very special event for us, and we're very pleased to see so many people here. I would like to point out that we have our local Member of Parliament, Dr. Stephen Ellis, with us today, our MLA, Elizabeth Smith-McCrossan. I would like to thank particularly, we have two mayors from neighboring communities. We have Jim Ryan of Pictou and Bill Mills of Truro. Obviously, they're part of this history as well, their communities. And all the thank yous that have been said, just for brevity, all those people involved, it was vitally important that they made their efforts. So today, as we continue to celebrate Emancipation Day, we gather to unveil a monument of profound significance, not only to our community, but to our nation's history. This new stone monument stands as a tribute to the members of the No. 2 Construction Battalion who served with distinction in World War I. Among them were over 20 brave men from our own Amherst area, whose courage and dedication we honor today. As we reflect on the sacrifices made by these soldiers, we acknowledge the unique challenges they faced. The No. 2 Construction Battalion, an all-black unit, overcame systemic barriers and prejudice to serve their country with honor. This monument is not just a symbol of their service. It is a step towards reconciliation, recognizing their vital contributions and the injustices they endured. Placing this monument in our memorial park, alongside the Afghanistan Memorial, reminds us of the shared sacrifices of all who have served. It's a testament to our town council's commitment to building a more welcoming and inclusive community, where the legacy of all our heroes is cherished and remembered. Today, as we unveil this monument, we celebrate the resilience and bravery of the No. 2 Construction Battalion. Let this monument stand as a lasting tribute to their service and as a reminder of our ongoing journey towards a more inclusive and understanding society. Thank you. And now, it gives me great pleasure. I would like to invite Tammy Guerrero and Brian Paris to please come forward to stand beside the monument as we prepare for the moment of unveiling.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let a rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has shown us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the christening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat come to the place our feet, come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over a way that where tears have been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out on the gloomy path, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of a bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, those who have brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might lead us into the light, keep us forever in the path our God, where we met thee. Our hearts drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand. To our God, true to our native land.
A beautiful rendition of Lift Every Voice was Leah Killen. Now that we have our monument unveiled, at this time I would like to invite some individuals for the laying of the wreaths. First I'll call upon Musa Drame, Veterans Affairs Canada, Area Director of Nova Scotia, to come forward to begin our wreath laying ceremony. Would the Honourable Twyla Gross, MLA, Minister of African Nova Scotia Affairs, please come forward. I would now like to invite Lieutenant Colonel Michael E. Bennett, Commanding Officer, the Nova Scotia Highlanders, and Master Warrant Officer Karen McLean, the Nova Scotia Highlanders, to come forward for the laying of the wreath. Councillor Mark Joseph, Municipality of Cumberland, please come forward. Johnson, Sergeant at Arms, New Glasgow Legion. Alana McQuaid, Executive Committee Member, New Glasgow Legion. Would you please come up to the laying of the wreath? let me, but I'll ask for the Mayor David Cogan to please come up for the placement of the wreath.
A little unorthodox, but I would like to bestow this honor upon Councillor Hal Davidson, given his involvement with today on behalf of the town.
Thank you, Your Honor. Where was I? Lord Baird, President of the Royal Canadian Legion, Branch 10, Amherst. Please come forward on behalf of the Legion. Okay. We have there's a miscue on that one. We'd like to thank Lauren Baird, certainly the President of the Legion. They've really been an integral part of this whole event that we're having throughout the day, and I'll be thanking them a little bit anyway, but thank you very much, Lauren. And Joseph, where am I at now? Nail Upshaw, I'm sorry. Mayor threw me off here, I'm going to be honest. Nail Upshaw. Nail is a descendant of John Hamilton, who was a member of the No. 2 Construction Battalion and a recently appointed principal of Spring Street School in Amherst. And finally, would Tammy Garrell please come forward? Tammy is the Vice Chair of the Cumberland African Nova Scotia Association. And I'll request Tammy to lay a wreath on behalf of Kansas. In closing, this was a wonderful ceremony with tremendous meaning, not only in the African Nova Scotia local community, but throughout Canada. I'd like to thank everyone for participating today. Musa Drame, as I mentioned, who took time out with his family while he was on vacation to attend today's events, Area Director for Nova Scotia, and Veterans Affairs as a whole. They provided the financial support for the play that was performed this morning for our country, and the funding that made it possible to unveil this handsome monument that will be here forever in the town of Amherst. The Honourable Twyla Gross, MLA, whose commitment to all of the activities we have in the African Nova Scotia community cannot be overstated. Lieutenant Colonel Michael E. Bennett, CD, Commanding Officer, Nova Scotia Highlanders, Master Warrant Officer Karen McLean, Nova Scotia Highlanders, your presence here is greatly appreciated. And of course, Mark Joseph, who is a veteran in his own right from the municipality of Cumberland. Councillor Joseph, we're very honored for you to speak on behalf of the county. and of course our own mayor, David Colgan, Mayor of Amherst, and the staff of Amherst. I know the CAO is here, Jason McDonald, and this is not in the script, but he will not forgive me for mentioning his name because he allows the staff in the town of Amherst to do their job. And I know that the Director of Community Living and all the staff, they did a tremendous job, and it was real team effort. Someone said to me yesterday that they've never seen such a collaborative effort in the town of Amherst as we have today, involving so many different organizations, not only throughout the province, but throughout the country. Royal Canadian Legion Branch 10, Sergeant at Arms, Justin McKay, and Lord Baird, the Legion President. As I mentioned before, their contribution is just incredible. Sergeant at Arms Joseph Johnson and Executive Committee member Elena McQuaid, both in the Glasgow Legion, who we met in Pictou and took it upon themselves to be present here today in support. And to the Color Party and the band that we have with us today, thank you very much. Most importantly, to the descendants of the members of the No. 2 Construction Battalion, including everyone who participated in the Play for Our Country earlier today, Mary Beth Sutherland, Dale Upshaw, Andrea Davis, Melena Garrell, Tammy Garrell, and Brian Paris, who, by the way, his father is Joseph A. Paris, that is on the banner and is pictured in the Canadian stamp. We would never have had a play with the magnitude to which we've had without ECMA nominated Sid, Marty, and Dave, who provided such a great musical accompaniment throughout the day, throughout the play, and Deputy Mayor Dale Fothrop, who wrote and directed For Our Country. This is yet another example of Dale going above and beyond, drawing upon one of his many passions to support an important project in our community. Thank you, Dale. And I'd also like to point out the presence of my other council members that are in attendance today, Councillor Landry and Councillor Baker. The Cumberland African Nova Scotia Association has really raised the bar in terms of not only the events that we've had today, but also what I'll mention later on of the events to go in Part 3 and Part 4 to the day. And Russell Gross. Someone mentioned that had a meeting with Russell, gave him a phone call, sent an email. He said, let's get together. My wife and I took a drive to Halifax. We dropped by the Black Cultural Center, and it was, we can do this, we can do this, we can provide this, we can provide that. It was nonstop. And Russell's here today operating the camera as he does. He's executive director, and he's hands-on everything and providing a wonderful, wonderful support through our community, which we greatly are indebted, Russell. So, Merv, your executive director, is an honorary citizen, if I could do that, of the town of Amherst. Thank you all who did attend today. It's always nice when you set out chairs and there's not enough room for people to sit down. Forgive me, all the people that had to stand. But I'd like to remind everyone that there are more events, as I just mentioned, taking place today in the celebration of the Emancipation Day in the afternoon from 2 to 4. Emancipation Day activities will take place with a family fun zone. Fun activities for children and families, free for everyone to attend, as all the activities today. And everyone is welcome at the Amherst Stadium. And then in the evening, we will have a repeat performance by Sid, Marty, and Dave, and an international group, Bahola, from the Moncton area, with followed by dance music. I've been requested to point out that it is free admission, however, you would require cash for food and drinks. And the events tonight will go from 7 p.m. to 10:30. Once again, thank you very much, everyone, for attending.